Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Emergent Gamer Podcast, episode 231. I'm one of your hosts, Neo Ayoshi, joined by
Felix Hergood.
Felix Hergood. What's up, dude?
Hey, I'm back.
How you doing, man?
It's me.
It's me.
Live and in the flesh.
Yes, we all are, including we have a special guest this time. It is our first Discord show that with a guest. And his name is Channing Tater. What is up, Channing Tater?
Hey, how's it going?
Tell us more about yourself, Channing Tater.
Well, long-time listener, first-time caller. Got myself a Bomba shirt on.
What's Bomba?
Playing a
What
lot
shirt
of
is
Star
that?
Wars. Bomba from Mario.
Got it.
Oh,
Yeah.
a bomb bomb.
A bomb. Do you call him a bum bum?
Bomba.
Bomba?
Bomba? It's bomb bomb. Bomb
Yeah.
bomb.
You call it bomba. That's weird.
Yeah.
I never heard that. Bomb bomb, I've heard.
Well, that's the Spanish word for bomb. Not Spanish.
And Channing, we go back playing lots of PUBG. We did a lot of PUBG together.
Well,
Lots of somewhat amount of apexing.
The BRs really hit me when
They hit
when
you.
they first came out.
You're a big
I
fan.
got the BR bug.
Fan of the BR.
Yeah.
Channing was in our crew with the PUBGing.
Do you have
when we
a
were doing all
long
that.
history of doing FPS or?
Well, if you can see behind me for those videos
I
watchers
personally
here,
can't. Yeah.
I got a Warcraft 3 and then StarCraft 2. I don't have the Brood War here, but that was basically what got me into gaming was
RTS,
those RTSs,
not
yes.
FPS.
Yeah, FPS came later.
What was your first FPS?
Probably Halo 2.
Halo 2?
Halo 2, that's a good one.
I think Halo 1 was probably my first-person shooter, maybe? No. Fuck that. GoldenEye was definitely my first.
For me it was GoldenEye and like the Quake series.
Yeah. Oh no, you know what?
Those guys.
What came out? What came out first? GoldenEye or Turok? The dinosaur hunter.
Oh no!
Oh my gosh.
Those are on the same console, so it's like I gotta look it up.
Was Turok on the?
Turok was on
N64?
N64.
Was it?
I take it back. First FPS was probably the original Battlefront 2 on the PlayStation 2.
Oh wow!
I played
The original Turok was
hundreds of
97.
Turok was 97.
GoldenEye
Was.
and I'm getting it. Fact checking is happening.
Fact checking. It's happening.
Was also 97. August
So
of
we gotta get the months in there.
So my dip into first-person shooters started in 1997, friends.
It just the release date just says 97 for Turok on the Wikipedia.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, there you go.
I'm happy with the year. I don't need more detail than that.
There you go. That's that. We got lots of news tonight, but first we got a big topic we want to talk about. We all been playing Jedi Fallen Order,
Oh,
but
fuck
before
yeah.
that, before we hop into that, I just want everyone to know I have finished Death Stranding. The game I have finished it, and I have some immediate thoughts.
How many hours did you put into that?
God, probably like 30 hours. Because I like streamlined it like the first 2 days I got it. Like I took off work for it, and that's all I did was just play Death Stranding. And then spread it out throughout my time playing it. But more or less, I'm going to give a brief rundown now, but I hope everyone listening checks out the Lunar Castaways, because this weekend we're going to be doing like a big spoiler cast where we're just going to talk about the story and spoil it, and we're going to go a lot deeper in there. But for right now, the game is definitely not for everybody. It is a weird-ass game, but I loved every second of it. And it became more compelling as I continued to play it. And, of course, in Kojima fashion, the ending never is really the end. It literally takes... Like, you think you start seeing credits, and then the game just goes on for, like, another hour and a half. Like, it just keeps going. But overall, when I finished it, it had me in a very deep emotional state where I was pretty much crying. I was pretty much, like, on the verge of tears. It was really impactful.
Oh, wow.
How much the story just, like, really hits you. They try and really gut punch you at the end there. It's a beautiful experience. And, like, I really do hope people give it a try and kind of work with the systems that it puts in front of you, like those roadblocks of you just having to lug things. And like that's like the game. Like I watched a bunch of after I finished, I watched like a whole bunch of reviews of it just to see what other people thought. Like Donkey hates it. He hated every minute of it. Angry Joe had a lot of problems with it. Jim Sterling was pretty down on it. The Giant Bomb people didn't really like it that much. And I thought that was really interesting because
all of those people didn't like it.
They had a lot of problems with it. They didn't like the style that was being put in front of them, and the story was really heavy-handed and everything. And like I totally get that, but like, what's up, Chan? You have something to say?
So are these like technical problems, or are these just like nitpicky problems?
Nitpicky problems of just the whole game system. There's technically not a single bug. Nothing stopped me or prevented me from playing and enjoying the game.
Well, it sounds like a lot of the better than a lot of games out there.
And that's honestly that for me that like instantly gives you a good mark in this day and age because your game isn't stopping me from enjoying it, which is already a thing.
I don't know what these dudes are fucking prioritizing, but they're clearly not prioritizing enjoyment. I have so much more enjoyment from Death Stranding than I do this motherfucking Star Wars game. We'll get into it later.
We're gonna get into it.
But like, there is serious fucking issues with this motherfucking Star Wars game. And
we're gonna talk about Star Wars.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it later, but I'm not taking your thunder away.
I definitely had some problems, but mine were very different than yours, I think.
We're going to talk about it. Wait, hang on. I want to address what you were saying there, Felix. These reviewers, these like, YouTubers in the spotlight doing their game thing. The problem I think a lot of these reviewers have is they're programmed, I'm doing quotes, they're programmed to complete a game and dump their thoughts out as quickly as possible. Right?
Yeah.
As fast as possible.
This is not a game you time crunch like that.
This is not a game you're busting your ass through to finish as soon as possible. And when you try and do that in this game, it's going to kind of go. It's gonna put its hand out and be like, yo, slow down, stop what you're doing. Take this in. Take in this experience. If you rush it, you're not going to enjoy yourself. Like Donkey's video, he showed countless clips of him falling over, trying to scale the environment like it's Breath of the Wild, and like just complaining about like how he just can't scale walls as easily. But he's not using the tools that the game provides you, like the scanner, which shows you the environment getting more rough.
Exactly.
It demonstrates the terrain getting rough, and the game provides you with ladders and other things and tools to get around the environment. And to me, he wasn't like in this like 7-minute video we put out, he wasn't using the tools that the game wanted you to use.
Yeah, he was doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong.
I mean, it's hard to say people are doing it wrong. They're going to play the game their own way, right?
I'll say it pretty easily. You don't have to say it. You can be diplomatic.
But yeah, I mean, like, but the thing is like the game wants you to immerse yourself in the systems, the social systems, the likes, the isolation that you feel when you're playing it. And a lot of these reviewers, all of them, are playing these games at a breakneck pace so they can play the next thing that comes out, right? Mm-hmm. That's what they're programmed to do. That's why I said they're like programmed to finish a game and move on and not to take in what they're playing. And that's, I think, a really important part of this game.
I haven't checked it to confirm it, but I guarantee you the Forbes dudes probably like the game. I'd be surprised if they didn't.
I don't know if I've read their review yet.
I'll check in. And I'll get back to you on that.
But that's also why I think all these reviews are all over the place. This
what
game
is the average review right now?
Do you want to see the Metacritic? Metacritic.
Yeah, I'd be curious as to what the Metacritic is
for Death Stranding. The game is currently sitting at a 83.
Oh yeah, totally deserved.
Generally favorable. The user score is a 5.6, so it's a little bit lower on the user section.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I mean, even Kojima had a comment last week that was like, I don't think Americans are going to really appreciate this. They prefer their shooters. So
are people just going into it not expecting something else? Like, is it a problem with branding, or
at this point, I
think it's a problem with hype, to be honest with you.
I mean, there's a lot of hype behind.
I mean, a lot of people would say that it did live up to the hype, though.
I thought it did.
You got fanboy Neo over here who's completely vindicated.
It lived up to my hype, and I got what I wanted out of the game, which was all I can possibly ask.
I was shocked at how much I liked that game.
And it's cool. Well, I'm not going to spoil any of the story stuff here, and I'll cut myself off here. But I gotta tell you guys, I really, this is definitely one of my games of the year right now. It's when we have our game of the year discussion later, like January or whatever. This is going to be probably one of my top picks. That's a little
For
spoiler
me. It's
you.
tied between Death Stranding and Control.
Control is one of my other ones that I'm very high on.
I don't know
very
what to
hyped
choose at this point. I have to play more of both of them to.
Felix, I would definitely try and. I mean, I know your game playing schedules is up and all over the place, but I would definitely try and finish this if you can.
No, I'm going to.
But, like, I don't want you to rush it either. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want you to.
No, I think
it.
next week I'm doing Control, and then maybe the week after that I'll be back on Death Stranding. So
cool. Well,
so I got one specific question and one general question. Is there a step counter in the game?
Oh, I wish there was.
There is.
There
is one. Yeah, in Kojima fashion, at the end of the game, and at the end of the Metal Gear games, he like gives you like a rating, and he gives you like an animal rating at the end of the Metal Gear games, and he tells you all your stats, like how many people you kill and choke out. They do that at the end of this game.
That's just like is that like
I should have taken a picture of it, and I'm really sad I didn't know.
Is that like a Japanese gaming design choice? Because that happened in the Resident Evil as well.
Resident Evil does it. Capcom games like Devil May Cry do it.
Yeah, It seems like it's a Japanese aesthetic. Like they want that. They want to know how many steps they took in the game.
Yeah, and they'll give you like an S rating. Like that's a very Japanese thing.
We talked about
some of those. Some
of
those where you had to do it in under a certain amount of steps or something, wasn't it? In Resident Evil 2.
Oh yeah, I went through that nightmare. I definitely got a bunch of those trophies for doing the steps. thing.
You platinumed that game.
Yeah, I completely platinumed it. So
I can't believe
I had to
that.
have gotten all of them. Yeah.
That's. I mean, that's a good game to platinum, but like, damn, it was a lot of work. Like that seemed like a lot of work.
Yeah, that was that one. I was trying to remember I don't even remember what it was called, but yeah, it was like get it under like 17,000 steps or 14,000. No, it was 17,000 steps, and I got it in 14,000. I think.
Mad props, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Super mad
The
props.
hardest part is when you're on that last boss fight where you're in that like kind of octagon room and the creature keeps ripping shit out of the floor and throwing it at you. In that space, like you can use so many steps and completely ruin your opportunity. So you got to be careful. You got to learn how to kill that creature like quick. So anyway.
So I've been reading a lot of reviews on Death Stranding.
Yeah.
Something keeps coming up. Does the combat in the game make it worse?
The combat is far from the main focus of the game.
Yeah.
It is, but by
like a lot of complaining that I see in reviews is like the combat.
It's nothing.
It just doesn't need even to be there.
So at the beginning of the game, you get like you have like a strand rope, which is like you just essentially just like choke people out, and then you just punch them. Or you can like one of my favorite things to do early in the game was I would knock a guy out and his cargo on his back would fly in the air. You could do a quick grab with the triggers on the cargo, and then I would just nail another dude with that cargo and just bust it over their head.
You knock them out with the cargo. It's
with their own
great.
cargo, yeah. Another thing that
it took me a while
to do.
It took me a while to figure out the strand, Neo.
I know, me too. It took me like honestly like 20 hours to figure it. Like I didn't even like really know
you gotta hold it. It's weird. You gotta like hold it when you're near the guy, and then it works.
You can use it as a deflecting tool. So if someone's coming at you and you hit the triggers, you'll knock them off balance with the rope. You'll just like kind of like toss them to the side. Then you can get them into the choke takedown. But Channing, by the end of the game, you actually get a wide variety of weapons. Like you do get guns and stuff, but the gunplay is not as good as like a Metal Gear Solid game. Like Metal Gear Solid 5 is way better feeling than this game when it comes to shooting. But you do get lots of guns and you get lots of tricks to deal with the BTs. Like the game becomes way easier to traverse later in the game. So like in the beginning, you're like a stumbling baby. Also very metaphorical here because this game is essentially a metaphor. But by the end of the game, you're a master of the terrain. You have all these stations built. You have all these tools at your disposal. It becomes a more clear and easy experience by the time you reach that end game level.
I was doing all right. I had the motorcycle, and those bastard fucking mules stole it from me and shit. I want to punch them.
Yeah, they do. Those mules. They love stealing things. But anyway, let's stop talking about this game. Let's talk about the game we're all playing, which is Jedi. Yeah, I think all three of us are playing.
Oh yeah.
How far did
yeah.
you get, Neo?
I'm like 15, 20 hours in. Probably more like 15.
Okay. Did you get? Do you have all the planets unlocked?
I don't know how many planets there are.
So far, there's 4 for me. I don't know.
Yeah, same.
I think the total is 4.
Then yes, I only have 4 as well.
Okay.
But I've only explored 3 of them pretty much. So wait, let me first. What's your impressions, you guys? Let's hear from Channing first as our guest.
Of course. Guest.
What's up, Channing? What is your thoughts on the Jedi game?
I feel like my thoughts are going to be much different than Felix's thoughts.
They could be.
Do you like
Souls
Souls games?
So the only Souls game I played was Dark Souls 3.
Okay.
And I was a big baby and had somebody like hand walk me through the entire story.
That's good.
What's wrong with that?
I could not deal with it. I'm just like, this looks cool.
Like you summoned him into your game to play?
Yeah,
that kind
like
of thing?
the whole story.
For Bloodborne, Channing, I created a channel in my Discord called The Backseat. And if you wanted to join it and tell me how to play the game, you're free to join and tell me.
Yeah.
So it's so complicated.
Star Wars this iteration of Star Wars is very Souls-like, but it's also, I didn't start on the hardest difficulty. I just started on normal because I want to get the...
Now, what do you mean when you say normal? Story?
Just the one that it started you out on.
I don't remember.
The second level.
Difficulties
the
are...
one that...
Yeah, so you have story, and then you have Jedi Knight, and then you have Jedi Master, and then you have Grandmaster, Jedi Grandmaster. So
I'm playing on Jedi Master.
You're on Jedi Master, and you're on Jedi Knight, you think?
Yeah.
That's what I want.
I mean, I'm enjoying it. It's a lot like the Dark Souls game where you sit down and meditate and all of the enemies respawn, but you don't have like a stamina bar where you run out of rolls. I mean, The only bar that you really have to deal with is your force meter, and I just unlocked something that kind of helps me with that. But the main thing, I know I saw this in your stream, Felix, the story is very lenient when it tells you can go and do, it tells you there are multiple options. So I'm like, there's this, kind of desert red planet over here that I haven't gone to yet. I'm going to go check that out. Boom, Night Sisters. I'm like, hey, that's pretty cool. By the way,
lots of good Star Wars lore.
If you like Star Wars, the Clone Wars, or like any of those series on TV, this game is a huge fan service to that. I mean, it
takes place during the time period, right?
Yeah, just right after Order 66. So
right after
the Clone Wars have ended.
Yeah.
All of the clones have kind of disbanded. They're in their Empire armor and everything. But there's so many like little lines, little dialogue lines that just give you fan service to that Clone Wars period.
Yeah, and they even have a few like the one character that's kind of, I don't think this is a spoiler, but it's like Forrest Whitaker's in the game. His character.
Yeah,
Saul Guerrero.
Saw Gerrera.
Yeah, but he's real young. He's like real young in the game.
Yeah, he's still got all his limbs. He's not breathing off of an oxygen mask.
In
Rebels, in Star Wars Rebels, he shows up approximately this age, right? And in Clone Wars, he's a very young man. You see him as a young man in Clone Wars, I believe.
That's cool.
So I'm really enjoying the combat because it feels really good when you can deflect a blaster bolt or
time it just right.
It's the best, dude. It's the best.
Just the most satisfying thing. And then you get the respawn wall running in there. I have not gotten tired of that yet. It's just so fun.
I think one thing that stands out to me about the gameplay is I like that you're not this have you guys played Force Unleashed?
Oh yeah.
So one thing I like is like this isn't like the power fantasy that game provides you as like a Jedi Force user, right? This is like you are a learning young Jedi who is not all that skilled. You're not overpowered, and it actually attempts to make you feel like you're learning as the game goes. And it just feels really good that you're not like this like godlike being, but an actual like kind of human. You're squishy. And the game's Souls influence kind of like pushes that on you. And like without the stamina bar, which was always a hindrance in those Souls games, you're right. The force powers are kind of like I want to say like in combat, they're like your crutch almost, right? Like you have to use them sparingly, but enough. Like I'm still early in the game, so I don't know how much better you get at using the force powers or how much faster it recharges, but
you get great at it.
You get a lot better. So like at the point I'm in, it's like I need to pick and choose in combat when I use these things and when it's like gonna suit me. You have to be more strategic in combat.
You're playing
and
Jedi
that feels
Master.
really good. I'm playing Jedi Master.
Yeah, you have to really pick and choose.
Fucked. It's like really methodical. Like you can't be swinging that saber like a baseball bat. Like you gotta pick and choose those moments. And I like that. I like that a lot more than like the Souls games, for example, where it just feels like death is always going to come at you no matter what, and it's always out of your control. I feel more in control of my death here. Like I fucked up. The game isn't cheating me when I die. You know what I mean? It's not like
I did not have that experience right away because I like going out and kind of checking out different areas. I went kind of to the right of the first area and found that friggin' frog.
That frog, dude.
Just in the middle of a pit. I'm like, oh, all right. He's got a health bar. That's not good. So I fought him probably 3 times.
I watched you in your stream, Felix, like go just ham on that thing.
Yeah.
You can't go ham on that.
I could not beat him. I'm like, you know what? I'm probably not supposed to be here right now.
On Jedi Master difficulty, when I first started fighting that frog, I got him down to like this. I had to cheese a little bit by going into that little like alcove.
Yeah, I remember.
But I got him to like this on Jedi Master. But then something happened where I like started losing my grip on what the mechanics were.
So he reset to his spawn location.
Yeah, and well,
so
if I stayed
a lot of
too
the enemies
long,
will do that.
I walked too far into that little alcove. Because I think that alcove is a path that just goes somewhere, and I walked too deep into it, and then he turned around, walked back, all his health came back, and I had used all of my stims, so I was like fucked. But I had him down to like this, man, and I was just like,
Felix, I don't want to upset you, but
upsetting me.
I beat him in my 3rd try on Jedi Master.
Fuck you.
That's basically where I stopped. I'm like, I died 3 times. You know, you're still like getting used to the combat, right?
Right.
On that first planet.
I think that first boss it's telling you that this game don't fuck around, right? It's telling you that, hey, this is a boss thing. It's gonna always be here. You can come back and it'll be there for you to earn. But it's telling you that the game will be punishing if you are not, if you don't know how to beat it, I guess you could say, right? Like if you're not skillful enough. It's like a warning. It's a warning.
Something I would say is this game is 100% a Metroidvania.
Oh yeah.
It locks stuff off for you until you get upgrades for your BD1.
The map does a really great job of telling you what not to waste your time on.
Yes.
The red highlighted things mean you can't do it because you don't have the power yet.
Even if you go up to something like there's some bells or whatever, and it usually glows blue, saying you can use your force power on this. Even if you're right next to it, it's just glowing red. It's just like, yeah, don't bother.
Right.
You'll get it later, and it gives you good reasons to go back later.
Mm-hmm.
It was extremely interesting.
Yeah, that design choice is probably one of the best aspects of the game.
Yeah, it makes
and the force powers make sense. Like for storytelling, he's got force attunement or force echo, so he can actually the game can give you solid background and dialogue for a good reason, because it's already an established force power that people have.
Mm-hmm. I do like how this game is very it can be played linear. Innate, if you can just straight line the path of the story, right? But because the game lets you do your own thing and opens up for you, then you can honestly, everyone here talking about it are probably going to have a very different experience, no matter what. There's, I don't know if this is a spoiler, that extra, you can find an item that really early in the game that changes your combat up pretty easily. I don't know if I want to spoil it, but You can also find
Felix already did it with his.
he did,
stream
and the
title.
moment he did, I was like, oh shit, I gotta get that thing.
What did I do?
It's
So
an item.
when you go to was it Dathomir or something, to the desert red planet Night Sisters?
Yeah.
You get the. Are we spoiling?
Yeah, fine. It's mechanics.
Spoiler.
You get
It's
the
not
double
story.
lightsaber.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I've already confirmed
It
this.
improved my game enjoyment to like 800%.
Just so you guys know, I didn't get that on Dathomir.
What?
Yeah, it's on the first planet
I
also.
got it on Bogano.
Mhm.
That's what I got it. on.
That's where I got it. I know
Really?
it's
Yeah, in
we're
the,
very
in the
different experiences.
abandoned workshop. That's when I got it.
Yep, that's where I found mine too.
It's not based on location. It's based on the point when. It's probably based on level, or it's probably based on how many times you've leveled up.
I think you can still find it there, but it's only accessible with a certain power on that. I forgot the name. The first planet.
Bogano.
Bogano. Yeah, it's available after a certain power, but it will also you'll get it through story later on in the game.
Yeah,
I believe. Which it's funny that you got it very differently, Channing. That is
honestly,
very
I think
a cool thing.
I mean, I was just exploring, and it was just a random workbench, kind of in some caves down below. And I had, fighting Night Sisters and whatever, and I'm just like, here, upgrade. I'm like, all right, cool. And I lost my shit. Holy crap! When that double blade came out, I could not believe it.
It's awesome, yeah.
It wasn't in any of the promo pictures or anything.
No. That's why I was worried about it being a spoiler.
So happy.
I mean, what, you're worried that we spoiled that for people?
I'm not too worried. If they're knowing what they're going to get into, I made the title Jedi Fallen Order.
Now they have something to look forward to.
We're not talking about the story, right?
We're not.
No.
Yeah.
It's a mechanic.
The story,
that
by the
unlocks.
way, is good too.
It is good.
Like, it's got solid storylines.
To be honest with you, any mechanic that we spoil can help a person who's currently playing the game, who's wasting their time trying to find shit that they can't get to because they need a mechanic. The double jump mechanic.
I haven't gotten that yet.
No, I haven't gotten it either.
Right, but that's not a spoil because what that tells you is that you're going to get that, and there's shit that you already know in your head.
But isn't that a spoiler though? Like, it's something that I wasn't aware that it was gonna exist. Like, I knew that.
Honestly, I had no idea that was in the game.
Okay, well, somebody told me about it, and I thanked them for it. I was like, "Thank you for telling me about this, because now I'm not going to waste my time on those like really long gaps." Those
you
giant
have to
gaps.
DM me later on where you found that.
Those giant gaps. But I'm saying, I'm not telling you where I found it or what planet I found it on. That would be a spoiler. But like, I wasted time trying to figure out how to get over those giant gaps. And then a buddy of mine goes, "Dude, I saw you on your stream. Stop wasting time on those giant gaps because you're going to get a double jump later." And I was like, "Oh, fuck." Okay.
So
thanks.
were you trying to get to that large like
Bogano.
dragon serpent thing?
Well, no, I don't. You think you can ever get to that? But like, there's other areas around there. I don't think you can. I mean, maybe you can. I don't know.
I mean, with double jump, it seems like you could probably do.
Felix, are you talking about the fan room?
No, I'm talking about on top of all those mesas
too.
on Bogano, the first planet. On top of all those mesas, there's these they look like broken bridges. There's one on one side, one on the other. Those can be traversed when you have the double jump.
It's just slightly out of reach.
Yeah,
right.
Just slightly out of reach.
There's that fan room on Bogano, right? Do you know what I'm talking about, Felix and Channing?
Yeah, like 2 minutes into the game.
Yeah, you find it, but you really can't do anything yet there because you don't have the appropriate skills. So I was like, okay, I know I don't have the skill set right now to deal with this, so I'll have to come back. And that's just what the game does, is when you get a new skill, it's pretty cool that you can use that Metroidvania. It's got that Metroidvania level design that lets you go back and get all those other goodies that you missed, which the goodies are pretty much all the same things. It's all cosmetic stuff, right? No one's found anything different?
No.
I have not, no.
Yeah, it's all like, you get lightsaber parts, which is pretty cool. I love the customization of the lightsaber stuff. Sweet.
What's your favorite that you've unlocked so far? I mean,
I don't know.
Use?
For a while,
do you know the
for
name?
a while, I made it. I don't remember the names, but I made it look like Luke's green lightsaber from Return of the Jedi for a while. So I did a very similar style to that. But they give you all these cool styles that are very familiar and a lot of new ones.
The one I love is called Magnus.
That's exactly what I'm rocking.
Yeah, the
with
Magnus,
the orange.
I use the orange. I use the orange because it came with the pre-order.
Yeah.
My buddy who
Green.
didn't pre-order, he was like, "How'd you get the orange?" And I'm like, "It's pre-order." He's like, "Fuck!" Like, it's a true benefit to like pre-order this time.
I'm hoping to get purple later. I'm hoping I get some of that purple action.
I don't know if you get other lightsaber colors. I mean, I'm pretty far in the game and I haven't got any new ones.
I'm thinking one might come with like completing the game,
Maybe.
or maybe different levels come with different completions.
Oh yeah, different difficulties.
Yeah.
That could be possible. Yeah. I don't know. I'm definitely
get dark saber for Grandmaster or something.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Or red.
No
I
way,
guess-
dude. No
They
way.
wouldn't give you like a red one either, because that's like the evil color. You think they would give you that?
I mean, you're force pushing stormtroopers to their death over bottomless ravines. I mean, that's not exactly
That's not
a good thing.
That's an anti-Jedi. You're an anti-Jedi. You're not fully on the dark side, but you're an anti-Jedi.
Play the way you want.
Yeah, this isn't one of those games where you can like go light or dark. You are a young Padawan Jedi. That is pretty much what you are.
Yeah, and that a lot of people going into the game thought it was going to play like what? What was that game called? It was called Knights of the Old Republic. Didn't you have choice in that?
Right. Yeah, you had light and dark
Light
choices.
and dark side.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
Yeah, that was more of like a turn-based thing, though. I was
Very
kind of thinking more
Very
like
RPG heavy. Yeah.
Jedi Academy-ish. Which, I mean, some of the scenery does really remind me of like Jedi Academy,
Mm-hmm.
Jedi Outcast, a lot of those things.
What do
Those
you?
games you can make choices in like that. Dark and light.
Kind of.
See, I think of the Old Republic MMO, where making dark or light choices actually affects your character deeply. Like you can get started
yeah.
like and if you made dark choices in the Old Republic, Felix, your face would turn into like Emperor Palpatine's. Like it would like you would get those like dark wrinkles and your eyes would change and stuff.
So in lieu of that line of thinking that the game is like this single story for a specific character that's canon, right? Do you guys have any thoughts on why they cast the person to play that hero?
I was going to bring that up.
Is this officially canon?
Yes, this is officially
yeah,
canon.
these are canon. Everything since the acquisition by Disney is canon, pretty much.
This is officially a canon storyline. That's why
I
Saul
don't know-
Guerrero showed up in it.
I don't know if they're gonna like weave this into the greater universe, and I honestly don't think they have to, because I like these standalone adventures. Like they're great like that.
They
Like,
don't
the
have
Mandalorian
to,
as well.
but they have. If this game does really well, they have an easy in because they hired a seasoned, like star talent. Like Cameron Monaghan plays the
Jerome.
Joker on Gotham, and he plays whatever the Ian Gallagher, is that his name, on Shameless. So like he's a known actor.
What's his name again?
Cameron Monaghan. I think it's Monaghan.
Monahan. I got it. I
Like,
got him.
He could easily like take the character of Cal and move him to a movie, like in 2 seconds, because he's a known face. He can carry a production. Like it's crazy to me.
That would be really cool.
Because if this is canon and he's already like a known player, it's no different than putting him right into. I mean, it'll be weird for audiences because they've never met him, but they could be introduced to him in the movie, and then like we know his whole journey because we played it here.
Well,
like, it's crazy.
This one makes sense because I know there's a new season of Clone Wars coming out. So, but that takes place, I think, way before his time. He would be a youngling.
But is that a cartoon or is that
It's an animated
that's the animated cartoon. I'm saying live action. Like,
no, you're absolutely right.
You know what I mean? Like it's
I
almost
was
like you're
shocked
prepping him
nothing,
for it.
but
I was shocked to see Tony Amendola playing the Jedi Master who's giving you instructions and kind of leading you along the way.
He's from
like that is
Stargate. I recognized him right away.
This is the
I
point I'm
recognize
making.
the voice. I'm like, oh,
Well, no, it's cool, Felix, because
quality
they can
people.
they can use this star power in these games that are recognizable, and it's really cool. Like Death Stranding does the same thing with all of its characters. But they could easily tie him in. I know right now for the movies, Kathleen Kennedy has said they don't know what they're gonna do after the new movie.
Right.
So
right.
maybe they can make a new trilogy with
Which
this
is-
guy involved.
so frustrating. She's
It's-
just like, we don't have any information to pull
Did you
from.
see
I'm
that
like,
quote
you
today?
lost your mind.
She said,
Yes, I did.
"We don't know. We don't have any comics or other things to pull from." And I'm like, "What the fuck? There's like 30 plus years of things that people wrote. You
There's a
could
whole
just
timeline. It doesn't
you could
matter.
pull things from."
No, if
yeah.
You've got
if you're
eight,
worried,
eight plus style games like that made oodles of money. You've got an MMO that you could pull storylines from. Heck,
Yeah.
you've got like full cutscenes from that time period,
Mhm.
like Old Republic style. I'm like,
I-
there's
honestly,
so much lore in there.
I think my idea, if I was a Star Wars producer or whatever, I would do a Game of Thrones style series, budget and everything. No, but hear me out. In the Old Republic, with deep characters and that kind of style of TV show.
So is the Iron Throne gonna be like who's?
I don't
Sith Lord?
mean the actual story. I mean, when I say Game of Thrones, I mean like a deep character drama with lots of like a plot, like a running plot, right? That carries the story and carries the characters. Because like that's what Game of Thrones is. It's a very deep character drama with lots of conflict, which the Old Republic, that's perfect. That is heavy characters, lots of characters that are really interesting, and lots of plot drama that you could pull from. But I don't know what they're doing at the helm of Star Wars right now in the movie section.
but
The games, this is great. This is a great game.
he's primed and ready. Like we don't know. Like they might have a secret deal where he does the game and then he ends up in a movie. Like it could
I would
easily
love that.
happen. It could easily happen.
I would love, and I think they could easily do that. But like then again, back in the day when in Force Unleashed, it was that actor Sam Witwer was playing Starkiller at the time. He could have been in a movie too, but you know, he's a big star.
Well, was that a canon game?
No, that was before the acquisition.
This is what
that
I'm
was
saying.
That was a LucasArts game.
Everything's different now
Yeah.
with the success of Marvel and all of their
Mhm.
interconnections and the fact that they're going to be interconnecting TV shows and movies. It's not unlike Disney to go, well, we can connect a game to a movie, no problem. I mean, it
That'd be
fucking
really
worked
cool.
with The Matrix back in the day. Worked great with The
Yeah.
Matrix. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it did. It was all
Most
right.
of the people
It's
who
all
who saw Matrix Reloaded didn't even know there was a whole other story that they could have played or
Yeah, the Enter the
experienced.
Matrix game.
Yeah.
That was a fun game. I mean, I don't know if it was amazing, but yeah, I mean, there is something to be said there where you can tie these medias together. The problem is you can't separate the moviegoers. The moviegoers need to be somewhat in the know because
No,
the game
he would
the
have
game
to be,
people
yeah.
are. That's the problem. You have to introduce the character in a certain
If
way.
he gets introduced, they
Yeah.
would have to give some of the backstory from the game and just be like, you know, this is what I was doing, this is where I was, you know, who, what, when, where, why,
Sure,
how,
or
all
just
that
throw him
shit.
in as a cameo. You could just for the game people to
Just
go
for the
"Ooh."
game people. Yeah, but see,
Yeah.
that's kind of throwaway. He's a fucking full-on Jedi. I mean, he can be involved
Full-on
in some kind
Jedi.
of Jedi conflict. He has TV show experience. He doesn't even need to be in a movie. Motherfucker can show up in a TV show on Disney Plus.
That's what I'm saying. Make a TV show.
Yeah.
Like
He's
the
a
Mandalorian,
television
which
actor.
they're doing, but
He's
another
not a-
one.
They're busy dumping oodles of money into the Mandalorian right now.
Yeah, they really are.
He's not
Please.
a tried and tested film star. He's a television star that's been doing well. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm a little suspicious of their decision making here, but I'm going to keep watching and see what happens.
Yeah, we'll have to see about that. So any more thoughts on the game though? We're talking about
Well, you didn't get my
movies and shit.
thoughts.
Yeah, dude, what do you think of it?
You said you had
Fucking hate it.
issues.
I fucking hate it. No.
Lay it
let's
on
skip.
us.
What
don't-
kind of issues?
No, I don't hate it. Okay, but you guys are clearly playing on PC, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both of you are playing on PC. Is
I'm
there,
actually throwing it onto my TV from my PC though, so I can get the surround sound experience.
Hell yeah.
is there a such thing as bad inputs, or am I just a bad player with my timing? Because
There is-
when I try to
this-
input on this controller, there are issues with some of these jump puzzles. There are issues with like moments when I know I hit the button and the game didn't respond to what I did.
I don't think you're alone in that one.
Okay.
Because I have been hearing that people have been having problems like reaching and grabbing ropes. Like sometimes that doesn't connect. The sliding feature, like when you slide down certain objects.
There's a wall running puzzle that's on Bogano that I don't need to go into detail. But like that wall running puzzle is a fucking nightmare to do because of the fact that there's so many steps and you goddamn hit them, and sometimes it doesn't register that you did it. And it's driving me, like, no pun intended, up a wall. Like, it's fucking maddening, dude.
So I kind of know what you're talking about. When you first get force pull, it kind of has you like grab for a vine.
Yeah, so this puzzle incorporates...
I didn't understand it, that you had to hold like the force pull, so I'm just sitting there tapping it.
No, that's I wouldn't blame the game if I fucked up and didn't understand how to, like, that I had to pull it. Like, I'm not mad that they made a choice in how they designed a mechanic. Right?
So you think it's just skipping your inputs?
No, I literally knew how to do the function, and then I would hold the button down when I'm in midair, and the character would fucking not even respond and do anything, and it would just fall like a fucking stone. You know what I mean? Like, I'm holding the button in. Where's the mechanic? Why isn't it working? And this was happening. It might be something unique to console, but, like, man, it was a fucking nightmare. I was trying to do it today. If you watch my VOD today, like, it's maddening, dude. Especially when they give you such a narrow margin of error on some of the timing of these puzzles. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, there's a votive puzzle on the Kashyyyk planet or whatever, the Wookiee planet. There's a votive puzzle when you get to this one tomb where you have to pick a votive up. Get this. You got to pick a votive up with your pull, and the votive has fire in it, right? And you have to walk from one room to, like, this area that has, like, a ledge, and there's a slide. Then you have to slide down the fucking slide, and the minute you start sliding, it drops the votive. And the votive is still on fire and rolling. And then you have to wait until you get down to the bottom of the slide, turn around, and then when the votive falls off the slide, you have to grab it immediately, turn around, and, like, light this thing on fire, right? This is such a not precise thing, and half the time I fucking did it.
Do you think there was a specific different mechanic that you were supposed to do?
No, because
are you sure that was what you were supposed to do?
Oh yeah. Because after a while, after a while, I said fuck it and just looked up how it's done, and I went, and there was no other way to do it. I thought I had theories that there was some other way to accomplish this on the other side of the, like, map, because it's like a round room, and you can go out the other side or go out the one side that they said to do it on. And I kept trying from the other side, and it wasn't going to work. But anyway, I looked up the mechanic. I read a thing that said this is how you do it. But that votive would come down, rolling down the ramp after me, and I would try and pull on it, and sometimes the game would just not even fucking do it. Like, I'm trying to pull. It's lit up blue, and it just won't pull to me. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening in this game?
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Like,
and I do think you're not alone here, because I have experienced some of that, like, just inputs not doing what I expect them to do as I've been told that they were supposed to behave, right?
Yeah.
And I've seen people online talk about it, like, just discussing the game, like, talking about how, like, sometimes, like, it feels like the physics isn't always doing what you're expecting it to do, right? Things don't behave that way. So, yeah, I don't think you're alone there. And me personally, on my end, I've been having some performance problems. So my problem is I don't think I can stream this game without dropping a 1080p. Oh God, first world problems. You know, can't play it on my
beautiful though.
1440. I know, right? Like, I can't play on my 1440p resolution if I want other people to watch me. But it does flicker. Like, the game stutters in certain areas, and the graphics, like, turning, like, I can't turn off motion blur, and that shit drives me crazy. I always turn that shit off. But the motion blur, every time I do a hard turn, the game stutters for me.
Now the question I'm going to ask is not related to a spoiler, because this character is introduced very early in the game, so you know you're going to end up fighting her later. Did you guys fight the ninth sister yet?
Second sister, you mean?
No, I watched you. No.
The ninth
I watched you.
The ninth
I watched
sister,
you fight him today.
Yeah, you watched me fight the ninth sister.
Mm-hmm.
I was just wondering if you guys did. I'm not going to.
I have not yet.
I'm not going to. I want you to figure out how to fight that bitch. Like, it's a complicated fight.
Okay.
I succeeded with it.
I love the challenges it poses, so it's like
Neo,
awesome.
I have no idea how you're going to do that on Jedi Master, dude. Good luck.
I can't wait. I'll tell
Good
you all.
luck,
I'm gonna
bro.
play it this weekend. So
That Ninth Sister fight
Gonna go
is
pretty hard.
holy shit hard.
Did you guys run into a kind of like a bounty hunter?
Oh yeah.
I did. So this is cool. You run into these bounty hunters and they're random, dude.
Yeah, they do. They show
I
up
didn't know
randomly
what was
everywhere.
happening. He's just like, oh, he's got a health bar. Oh, you got to fight him. Oh, okay. Never
So
seen this enemy before.
Yeah, you start to fight him, and all right. So did you get knocked out by? it
Yep.
yet? Okay, so have you been knocked out by a bounty hunter,
You talking
Felix?
to me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I've killed
Yeah. So what happens when they
Lots of them.
kill you? You don't die, right? Like, did this happen to you guys? Did they
No,
take you?
he basically just net shocked me, and he's just like, all right, we're putting him in jail.
I think that only does that based on a story mission the first time.
Okay.
It hasn't happened
Okay.
to me since, and they've shot me with nets. I don't know how many times. So I think it
All
just
right,
happens
cool.
the one
Okay.
time. For
Where
story
they
purposes.
throw you in a jail cell, and then you do there's like a whole event that happens.
Yeah,
So you haven't
it's
done
great.
that yet,
It's great. Yeah.
Channing?
Yeah, I've done that. Yep.
Oh, you've done. Okay, cool. I didn't want to spoil it. I'm trying not to spoil anything. Well, cool. Any other thoughts?
I don't want to. If we keep going, we're just going to start filtering out spoiled information.
Yeah, I know. I mean, overall, I think the game is really fun and pretty refreshing
Yeah,
for a
I'm
Souls
not,
game.
like I said. So I didn't really give you my answer. No, I'm not. Like, I don't think it's the worst game, but because of these like weird technical glitches, there's no way I could give it Game of the Year. Like, I couldn't do it. But I do love like the mechanical and gameplay design choices that they made. That if they would work fluidly all the time, like it would have gotten. I would have given it Game of the Year because it's that fucking like it's compelling. It's a really compelling Star Wars story, and it's a really well designed game. You know.
Yeah, I agree. There's a patch coming out this week, Felix. I just checked. So,
you think they're going to address my small concerns?
they're addressing flickering issues, and they're addressing dynamic. This is like a PC stuff, so I don't know what the patch notes are for a console, but they're fixing a lot of my problems, which is nice.
Yeah, good.
Slow loading times and all that good stuff.
All right.
Yeah. So, any other thoughts, Channing? You like it a lot?
I really do. It really scratches that Star Wars itch. I mean, best part, there's no microtransactions, no store to be found.
That's
you
great.
just get the story.
How did EA let that happen? Oh my god!
Well, I mean,
He let
do you
it
think-
happen because Disney
Respawn,
paid him a
baby.
shit ton.
I was gonna say, do you think
Yeah.
Disney stepped in and was like, "Yo, you're not fucking this up like you did Battlefront. Make it clean it up."
especially with their current Star Wars productions.
Yeah,
Right
they don't want to. They
on
don't
the
want any
precipice.
PR.
I think
They
they're-
want as good a PR as possible right now.
I think they're making like
I
they're-
agree.
the release date is not an accident. They wanted this to come out at the same time The Mandalorian did.
Sure.
Because it gives people kind of a dip
It's
into two parts of the Star Wars world.
Mhm.
And like they feed off of each other. They know that their Star Wars fans are also gamers.
Dude, we're also like a month away from the next movie.
Right.
So like this is like they want.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure they released it now. Yeah, for a reason.
They got us all now. I mean, I already had my Star Wars tickets when this game came to me. You know, I was like ready to go. I'm ready to go to that movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, this gets me excited for it.
And Disney Plus comes out with The Mandalorian and all the movies, so I can go in and now watch the movies. I could go through those fucking series if I wanted to, the Clone Wars, which ties into
Oh,
this
it's good
game.
stuff.
So it's like it's all part of this goddamn elaborate Disney scheme to take money out of my pocket.
And it's working.
Yeah.
But seriously, props to them for being able to not inject all that EA bullshit that they love to inject.
Yeah.
In it. And honestly, it makes every game feel so much better when you get a lightsaber part in game. Like even though those are like the collectibles, pretty much, right? Like, I mean, like I'd like more lore stuff, right? Like as a collectible, besides like the echoes that you find, which give you like little background on the area that you're in, right? But it's so refreshing to find a cosmetic in game. It reminds you what it was like before they tried to sell you all that shit, because that's what games were like. You unlocked the things that made you look cool in the game. So simple, but
So we got two refreshing games breaking away from the norm.
thank God.
Yeah.
Dark Souls is the same thing. Death Stranding. Damn it.
I knew what you meant. I knew what
Yeah.
you meant.
Death Stranding is the same thing, a refreshing, non-buggy, non-microtransaction to game, and it felt good. I felt like I got a product, just like this game.
I feel like we've been so mind-numbed to the fact that everyone's just trying to shove things down your brain.
Just nickel and dime you here and there.
We need you to devote all of your time to this. We need you to do this.
Yeah.
We need you to pay money for this. And I just want to enjoy the story.
Yeah.
We are refreshed by that because this game doesn't have it, but you need to understand something. This game has the backing of a giant, massive, like megalo shark of a company that wants this product to look pristine and clean.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want all that bullshit in there and they can set the budget.
Right.
So that
but
they
here's
don't have
the
to.
thing. The game is going to sell regardless, right? Like it's a Star Wars property.
And
These
I think
sell.
that's what they're banking.
Anyway,
they're banking on. They're using this as a way to sell other products. It's an advertising tool. That's really what it is. And that's why they don't need. But that's what I'm saying. That's why they don't need all that extra shit in there because they know that it's just going to fucking glide fine. It's good to go. These other games that are constantly relying on that business model don't have a guarantee that people are going to continue playing. And the irony is a lot of us want to put these games down because this shit's dumped in there, and like they're relying on it because they're not making. I guess maybe they don't feel they're going to have a return on their investment. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's all comes down to ROI. They're all worried about ROI. But this game doesn't have to worry about ROI. Are you kidding me?
It does not.
No fucking way this game's ever going to have to worry about ROI.
All right. Do you guys want to move on to the next story? Because I got a good segue for you. Speaking of ROIs, you ready for this one? You ready for this one?
Let's do it.
Anthem. We're talking about it again.
Are we?
Can we just collectively sigh and roll our eyes for 1 second here?
It's not in the news because it's fucked up. And no. And here's the thing. I've only played the alpha and the betas. So like I played the closed alpha and the beta.
It's in the news because it's going directly into the bin.
Well, no, it's not. What they're doing is this article here by Jason Schreier says BioWare plans a complete overhaul of the game. They're going to try and revive it from the ashes and make it an actual viable game.
What does that mean?
That's so mind-boggling.
They want a return on their investment. We sold you a game. Was it a year later? A little more than a year later. We're gonna scrap this game. It wasn't actually a game. We're gonna take the assets from that and build you a real game. Like that's the logic that they're following. Yeah, I mean, in the article, they're talking about how they want to overhaul the loot, the quests, the social aspects, the difficulty, the progression system, and the world map. They want to do all of that.
Like they're literally admitting that their first game wasn't a game.
Yeah. Well, because they're essentially pretty much taking it back to the drawing board to try and they're trying to.
Does that mean it's not going to be a live service game anymore? It's going to be just a story.
It 100% is going to be live service.
Oh, of course it is. Yeah, they want to rework it so it feels like a better game. They're going to try and do what Destiny did to kind of recover from its missteps, but Destiny had a better framework to work with, so it's kind of hard to compare the two because Destiny at least had the bare bones. Destiny 2 released in a weird state, but it was fixable, and it was easy to adjust that ship. This is essentially a ship that is currently sinking, and they need to try and, nail boards in the walls to try and keep the water from pouring in. But Destiny, at least, all they had to do was turn the wheel a little bit and adjust away from the iceberg. You know what I mean?
This is the boat that has sunk, and they're just diving down and taking the planks and then just building a new boat on the shore with the boards that were already underwater.
That's a perfect analogy. That is a perfect analogy.
So they're trying to, they're scuba diving for parts. Is that what they're doing?
Exactly.
of the existing Anthem ship, and the
ship's already underwater. They're just
got a perfectly good ship under the water.
Yeah.
I
will say this though: the concept of the game is fun. Like to be in
Right.
an Iron Man suit and fly around and
I
just
think they want to
stomp
retain
everything.
They want to retain that aspect of the game, the customization of the suit and the gameplay aspect of it.
I didn't.
Like they had great core ideas.
I didn't.
They just threw it out there with no idea of what was going to happen and it not being a game.
Yeah, I didn't get it because I said to myself, if I'm going to play a game where I'm in an Iron Man suit, I want to play an Iron Man game. Like,
but this scratched that itch, though.
did it really?
Yeah.
The flying is like the one thing
Channing?
that felt good.
See, I played it before it was officially released, so, you know, big boy, the beta.
Got it.
And-
so you didn't have to like really spend money.
Oh man, playing. I mean, I didn't either. I got into the closed alpha and then I played the beta with like I got in there with Trip, and man, that I could tell that game didn't. The only thing that felt good about that game was the flying. That was it. That was the only thing that felt good about it.
Yeah, it was very samey.
Very samey.
But
It was-
like
it was-
the
it didn't have
act
the legs.
of getting into the suit, being in a suit, like customizing the weapons, you could see the potential there, and it was a beta. Like you're kind of putting it into your head of what this game could be, and then they just let the ship sink.
Yep. So what they might do is they might pull from resources from the guess here is that they're going to pull resources from the Old Republic team to try and help rebuild a lot of the game. Not to mention, this article also mentions they do have another Mass Effect in the works. They do plan on making another Mass Effect. And Dragon Age 4 is still in the works. So their teams are trying to recoup and move on from Andromeda and Anthem. And I don't know, man. Like I don't know if Dragon Age comes out next and if it isn't like if it's poorly received, do you think EA axes like BioWare studios? Do you think they consolidate studios?
They got too many IPs, like valuable IPs, to just cut
ditch?
them.
Because Old Republic is still a Star Wars live like MMO game.
Yeah,
like,
people
that is
still play it.
still going. Yeah, they still have that. Who's to say? I don't know. I think that's just interesting to watch and see what happens going forward. All right, you guys want to move on to the next big thing that was announced this week?
Yeah.
So Valve announced a new game for the first time in years, because I don't count our Artifact, the card game. I don't count that one.
Yeah, I heard.
They announced a new Half-Life game, which
Kind
got
of.
people really excited. Yeah, it's but it's not the Half-Life game you think it is.
Right. Which is problematic for me.
Problematic for a lot of people because I can't even play it because I don't have a VR headset, because it is a VR game called Half-Life Alyx. So
It's got to be in the vein of like other VR games. It's got to be
Right.
more like a quick experience than a full game.
right, so it could definitely be that. They're calling it their flagship VR game. So it's very possible that it
Oh.
is a full-fledged game, but not Half-Life 3. They're not calling it Half-Life 3. You can't call it that, but it is a VR game.
I mean, I think it's officially Half-Life VR, right?
It's Half-Life Alyx. Colon Alex, the character from Half-Life 2.
Oh yeah. I remember. His name.
Yeah. Her name.
Oh, it's a her. No, I'm
It's a
thinking
her.
of the other guy with the glasses. What's his name?
Gordon Freeman.
Gordon Freeman.
Gordon Freeman. Yeah, that's the main character.
They didn't call it Half-Life Gordon, huh?
No, it's about Alex. So I heard a few speculations today on what this game could be, and in Half-Life 2, Alex had a pet dog, but it was a giant robot that she built.
Mm-hmm.
And people are saying that it could be a game where you're kind of like partnered with dog, where you can like one-to-one control dog sometimes, or to like solve puzzles or do things. Because Valve, when they develop games, they're very heavy into the mechanics of what they pick. Like with Half-Life 1, it was all about they improved the shooting and the storytelling. That was a huge focus of games at that time, and no other games did what Half-Life did in '97, I think is when it came out. Half-Life 2 added physics. That was their huge item physics was very big in Half-Life 2.
Gravity gun, baby.
Gravity gun was a huge part of that.
Yeah.
Portal as well. The portal gun was a very They had a mechanic in mind when they built those games, right? So I have a feeling using the VR tool set, because they have invested heavily into like the Vive, I think that's their headset, right?
Yeah, like they straight up just made their own VR
Right.
headset, and they've been dumping money into
Production of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, this gives me kind of hope, because if anyone's gonna build a VR game, like they would understand like the limits of their technology and how
Right.
they could do it.
They're developing the technology, and now they're going to make a game to coincide with their technology. This is like a very Apple move, because Apple builds their operating systems and they build their hardware in tandem to work together, right? You have a really crisp product when you get like an Apple product. That's just like you know what I mean? Like when you get an Apple product, you know you're getting good software, and the hardware is going to be premium.
Camera.
Right. The camera. There you go. So this, I think, is going to be a very similar thing. I think we're going to see a very cool mechanic heavy game that uses VR in a really unique way. That's my guess from Valve's track record. But then again, they haven't made a new game in my mind since 2011. Like that's the last game that they made. That was Portal 2. So I wish I can play it. I don't know if I'm gonna have a VR headset when that comes out, but Trip might play this. I could see him playing it. What do you guys think?
I'm 100% gonna pick it up.
Do you already have a headset?
Yeah, I've got the Vive, or the S,
The
Rift S. Yeah.
So was that a Valve product?
No, this is Oculus.
That's Oculus. Okay, so that's the Facebook owned company, right? That's the one that Facebook owns, the VR. I'm gonna look it up.
I have to
Oculus.
check.
I'm not getting it because I learned recently that prolonged exposure to VR gives me intense headaches. So
Oh yeah.
What do you define as prolonged?
I played VR on the PlayStation VR for probably about 35 minutes at a buddy of mine's house, and I came out of the experience with a ripping headache.
That's a shame.
So
I've definitely dove in for like maybe an hour, maybe a little bit more, but after that, you kind of just have to stop. It gets a little intense.
Like
I know
said,
a lot of the.
I didn't last more than 25, 30 minutes before it just started developing in my head, and I had to take a break and let my buddy play, and I just watched from the sidelines.
I know
So.
when it comes down to like doing VR, there's a lot of important factors that you need to worry about before, when you get those headaches. You have to worry about the refresh rate of the screens that you're putting your eyes to, because otherwise you'll see the flickering effect. And a higher resolution means that you won't get that screen door effect that PlayStation VR kind of has, where it kind of looks like you're looking through a screen door. You know what I mean, Felix?
Yeah. I guess maybe the PlayStation VR might be a problem. I mean, I've never.
It's a lower spec headset.
I've never tried VR on anything but a PlayStation VR.
Unfortunately, my only experience was in a Microsoft store, and I played Beat Saber for like 10 minutes. That's my only experience.
Oh, did I tell you I played that? I played Beat Saber. On the PlayStation VR.
It's a good game. It's a really good game.
Okay.
It's hard. It's really hard.
Go ahead.
My favorite VR experience is probably Space Pirate Trainer.
What's that game?
You're literally just sitting on a platform, and there are little robots coming at you.
Is that the one where you have the shield?
Okay, so I didn't know this was a thing, but you have little guns on your little handles, and you can move the sticks around to select different weapons.
You can pull the guns out.
If you do, you reach behind your head, it'll pull out like a whip mace.
Yep.
And then you can switch that over to a shield and kind of deflect blaster bolts. And yeah, I've got like probably a 20-foot square area.
It's called Space Pirate Trainer?
Yes.
That game.
I've never heard of this.
Yeah, so
it's
I'm watching a trailer.
It's kind of like it's an arcade game, but in VR.
Yeah, that one was really good, and then the other one I played was Super Hot.
Super Hot's good. Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, good party game.
Yeah.
That's the
just straight up job simulator.
We played that game live on the podcast. keep talking and no one explodes.
We did?
Do you remember this?
No.
Really?
Yeah, it's a game. Yeah, we didn't do it in VR though. We did it. We had a laptop and we had someone with the manual.
Okay, so it's 100% better in VR.
I bet it is. So Felix, do you remember this game? It's a game where one player has a bomb, and the other player and people around them have the manual to solve the bomb. So they have to describe what the puzzle is on the bomb, and the other person has to look up the solution and walk the other person through it as if they were dismantling the bomb.
We did that on this podcast?
We did it in your studio, yeah.
Oh, I don't remember that.
We had 2 guests. I think they were brothers at the time. This is like 2 years ago.
We're talking about the Twin Comic Talk?
Yes. Might have been that.
Twin Comic Talk. You're talking about Baldy and his brother. It was Baldy and Hawk.
I don't know.
Hawk and Baldy. Hawk and Baldy.
That sounds right. That does sound right.
Yeah, Twin Comic Talk.
But yeah, that is a fun game, Channing. I enjoyed watching them play that.
Yeah, one of them is in Australia and the other one's in Florida now. So that's why they haven't been around in a while.
Well, now they can play that game over the internets.
Well, now they could be on the show as a Discord guest because we've proven that we can do that tonight with our lovely Channing Tater here.
This has been a very good run. You're the good guinea pig, Channing, of seeing if this works, and it does work.
It does indeed work.
Let's talk about the last news of the night. I'm not going to list everything. We're gonna wrap up with this, but Microsoft had a big event this past weekend in London called XO19, and they announced a whole bunch of stuff. No Scarlet news, none of that. This was all. They spent most of the time announcing what their newly acquired studios were working on, which was pretty cool, right? They announced that Halo Reach and the Master Chief Collection are now coming to the PC on December 3rd. So they'll be on Steam and the Xbox Store. So that's pretty cool. I might actually play a Halo again for the first time since 3. That's awesome. What else we got? xCloud announced 50 games. Now, Stadia came out this week, you guys, and have you heard anything about it, Felix? Like, have you guys? I know Channing probably knows about it.
The question I'm asking is this different than all of the subscriptions I'm already paying those fucks?
xCloud is different, but it's in beta.
So it's something else I would have to pay for if I was going to try and use it.
So I'm predicting when it comes out of beta, my prediction is they'll roll it into Game Pass or whatever. That's my guess. But right now it is a separate product that behaves like Stadia, except it sounds like it works and it has more games, essentially. It has 50 games right now currently on.
So this is that whole play it through a browser design.
Right. I think right now it just works on Android phones, as far as I know. I think you can play your own games on. Actually, it might work on Windows. It might work on Windows also. Sorry, I don't know as much about this thing. But no one can correct me, so that's all right. A few other things. Obsidian already announced a new game called Grounded. So they just put out Outer Worlds. Grounded is here. It's a survival game crossed with Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. So you're a very tiny person in a very large environment. Honey, the Shrunk I.
So that's coming out soon?
No, they just announced.
It's called Grounded, and you're going to be like a shrunk person?
Yes. It'll be like, you remember that movie, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
Yeah. Will I get to murder everything in it?
It's a survival game, so probably.
I'll do it.
It does have a very like teen, like a T-rated feel to it. It looks.
Oh,
so
then I won't be able to murder anything.
It's very possible. Rare announced another game, which is another first-party studio called Everwild. Very pretty looking game.
Well, their last one was pretty, but it was like a dud. It was boring.
Yeah, there was no substance.
What was that called?
Yeah.
Recore. Rare did Recore, right? Was that
Well,
Rare?
Then they Sea of Thieves. They did Sea of Thieves.
Oh, they did Sea of Thieves after that. I was
King of no substance.
I was referring to Recore.
Yeah, I mean for sure. Did they do that one?
Maybe I'm just fucking confusing everything. I thought Rare.
Recore was an Xbox exclusive made by Xbox Game Studio and Level 5.
Oh, I was just wrong.
Concept.
I was just wrong.
Armature, and yeah, so they didn't do that.
Maybe because they both start with an R. And I'm just like Rare, Recore.
Rare, Recore, why not?
It's all the same.
Another big thing, pretty much every Final Fantasy, besides the sprite-based ones, are coming to Xbox, which is huge.
That I am excited about.
It's a big one. They announced pretty much all of them except for 14, right? But they said they are currently working on with Square Enix on bringing 14 to Xbox, which is awesome. Because I don't know if you knew when they made that game, when they were doing at least Realm Reborn, the deal they made with Sony was, we don't put this game on PlayStation, and they needed this at the time. Sony needed this on their launch, like in their launch window. The deal was, this is crossplay or you don't get it. So crossplay was actually happening in 2012 at the time. So that was cool. So now they're working on, like, can you imagine if like the crossplay was enabled on this? That's like a whole nother breadth of players to join the Final Fantasy 14 community, which is very cool. Other than that, that's about those are the big things. I don't know if you guys looked at what else they announced there, but anything else stand out to you guys?
Not for me. Like I absolutely didn't even notice that it happened.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I heard from you that it had happened. I think I saw people talking about it in the Emergent Gamer Discord, and I just was like, there wasn't any IP that like, no, there was one thing that was announced that mattered to me.
Go ahead.
And it was
were you interested in the Life is Strange game, or not the one from that vein though?
No, it was some.
Let's see here.
It was
Tell me why.
No, it was Kevin Oates. Kevin Oates just brought it up. Thank you, Kevin Oates. Yeah, it was
Yakuza is coming to Xbox.
Yeah, Yakuza is coming to Xbox Game Pass, which got me really excited because But do I already have Yakuza access on my PS Now?
I think you did. We checked that.
It's already in there anyway, so I could play it on that.
Yeah, you could, or you could get it on Xbox.
Yeah, I'm paying for Now, and I'm also paying for the Game Pass, so I probably have access to it on both.
Yeah, one thing Phil Spencer said, he knows that Xbox dropped the ball on getting Japanese games over to their console, because the PlayStation has a very robust Japanese game library, like the Final Fantasy series. So this is him like showing like, hey, we want these games on our platform.
Yeah, and honestly, it's like the whole Final Fantasy collection's coming there as well, right?
Yeah, I said that. Yeah,
I know.
I mean, that's a big market over there too.
Huge. Honestly, Xbox making killer moves, man. Like, I know they're not putting out like their Death Stranding or their, like, they had Gears of War already this year, right? But they are doing things that are purely for the consumer and for the gamer who likes the games. And I really appreciate what Xbox is doing. I don't know if I'm going to get one next console cycle. We'll see. Sony's been very good to me. So, what are you thinking, Channing? Where are you on the fence with this?
Kind of a PlayStation fanboy. Where they did hook me was they have Xbox Game Pass for PC at a discounted price. It's only like $5 a month American.
Yeah,
so,
that's a temporary price, Channing. So keep in mind, it's going to pop back up.
Well, I got to play Outer Worlds at least.
Exactly. That's how I played Outer Worlds, which was a really cool thing. And honestly,
we all played Outer Worlds that way.
They, just for anyone who doesn't know, Discord and Xbox now have a partnership. So if you sign up for Game Pass right now, you get some Discord Nitro, which is like the ability to boost channels. You get a whole bunch of features with Nitro. Or if you buy Nitro, you get 3 months of Xbox Game Pass, which I did. I spent $10 and I got 3 bonus months of Game Pass. So pretty good deal. I'd say. But yeah, they're prepping for that next generation, and it's happening. All right, you guys. Any other last thoughts tonight?
No, I'm pretty much good. I wanted to excise the demons surrounding that Star Wars game.
Hell yeah, you do. Channing, how you doing? You enjoy yourself tonight?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
it's good stuff.
Really appreciate you being on, Channing.
Yeah, imitation lock for now, I guess. Hopefully you guys can now able to get a couple of different personalities in here, spice things up a little bit.
Yeah,
I do like getting different personalities. It's definitely refreshing.
Maybe one day I'll get to meet God. Someday.
you might meet God on a show. I don't know. I don't know how he would feel about doing the old Discord. I have no idea if he even has a Discord. Like he might not even have a Discord account. God doesn't have a Discord account. I don't think.
Yeah. All right. Well, you guys ready to sign out of here?
Yeah, I'm
Get
ready to
out of
go.
here tonight. Heck yeah. I've been Neo Ayoshi. You can find me at Twitter at Neo_Yoshi. I'm at Twitch at Neo Ayoshi. So no underscore there. Probably gonna play Jedi Fallen Order. I don't know if I can stream it, so you might not see me on stream this week. I don't know, but I want to play this game. So sorry. All right, follow me there, Felix.
Yeah, this is Felix Hergood. At me, Felix Hergood on Twitter, and then what it says right here below me. Although if you're listening, it's Felix Hergood together. It's smushed together. But that's me on Twitch and Mixer, and I go live to both services at once. So you can really just follow me on both, and then whatever stream service is working successfully that day, watch me on that. Because between this whole past week, I've had a nightmare of problems with Mixer and Restream communicating for some fucking reason. Like there was like 2 or 3 days in the beginning of the week where I couldn't stream at all because
I saw that.
Yeah, because like Restream and Mixer just stopped talking for some reason, and they worked it out on their end, and all of a sudden it all was back up and running. But it's very weird. But normally I do both services at once. This week is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order until next week, which is either going to be Control or Fallout 76, because I did finally ascertain that on their website they didn't send me an email. No one reported on it, but I finally looked on the website and found a support link that said the scrap boxes have been fixed. So I can go in and try my Fallout First membership again.
Oh my god.
I'm playing this with a total grain of salt.
I'll have you know, Felix, Channing and I
don't know if I can re-download that. I don't know if I've got enough.
I'm on
me.
Xbox.
Channing was one of the people who was playing Fallout with me.
I'm definitely the only reason you bought it.
You are definitely the worst person in the world for doing that.
We should definitely talk about that at a later date, Channing. Like, I didn't bring it up on the show because I know that it would have been a complete derail from what we were talking about tonight. But, like, I would like to get your thoughts at some point on Fallout 76. But you didn't buy the Fallout First membership. You didn't buy that, obviously.
No. Why would he do that? Channing, why would you do that?
Why would I do it? Why would anyone do it?
It is not downloaded. It is in the bin somewhere, out of sight, out of mind.
I bought it, and I paid for it, and I want to get the most for my money. So I'm definitely going to continue to put effort into the game to see what happens. But like I said, nobody contacted me to tell me that the scrap box part of that feature was fixed. I dug it out of their goddamn website. Like, it was literally buried. I had to do a search. I typed scrap box patch, right?
Go on the subreddit will tell you, man.
No,
they tell you everything.
No. Like, I'm telling you, I've been scouring the subreddit, and finally I gave up.
Then they haven't fixed it. They took your money, and they were like, fuck you.
No, there was a post that said it's been fixed. I haven't
cool.
gone into the game. It was posted by Bethesda. I haven't gone into the game to determine if it has been fixed. I'm going in.
Well, you know what, Felix? That's a talk for another show.
Yeah, totally.
Because we are still signing out right now.
Right, we're signing out. We'll talk about it
Where
later.
would you like people to follow you if they want to follow you? You don't have to say it. I mean, it's already on the screen.
Well, if you can find me, my Twitter's Channing_Tater. Just here for the hot takes and spicy memes.
That's what we do, baby.
Hot takes and spicy
on the
memes.
Discord, Emergent Discord. If you want to join up, we play a lot of BRs, a lot of Apex with Abrupt and Lock and
Big Destiny community in there too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of that.
That's pretty much all I'm up to.
Oh yeah, I'll be playing Pokemon soon, so look forward to that. Shut up. All right, we'll see you next week.
Talk to
Bye.
Later.